What's going on, guys? Mann came to Centennial Park annual Christmas chop in December. I was there. Chris Miller was there. We had a rip in. He had a rough time too. We got dropped about 50 times. Just kidding. But he did get dropped. So we're going to go through what could he have done better? How could he have improved? How did the ride play out? How could he get further into this ride? Because he did it the previous year and also got dropped. So we're just going to watch his video with no audio. And we're just going to do a bit of an old school commentary. Let's get to the start. It starts in Centennial Park. It's run by Centennial Park Cycling Club. That's the full bunch, but they run, I think, 3 or 4 different speed groups. I think we had about 20 riders in the race pace group. You can see the CPCC boys here. We're off. It starts with 1 lap through Centennial Park. That's Chris Miller on the left. S5. Skin suit. I'm in a skin suit. Mann here, first thing, he's in a sloppy map jersey and bibs on a polygon. Now, nothing wrong with the polygon, but seriously, I mean, we're a bunch of YouTube wannabe, egotistical ex-Conti riders who think this is the world champs, and we're racing like it. And so he should be turning up. I'm not kidding. In a skin suit. If you're the strongest rider in the group, it doesn't matter. And if you're just surfing the wheels and not pulling any turns, it probably doesn't matter. But if you have an intention of rolling a turn and you're not in a skin suit, and the time you're rolling a turn, you're doing 45 plus K an hour, which happens on this ride. He pulls turns at 45 plus K an hour. He's a big rider. He's probably 6'3". He's probably doing an extra 20, 30, 40 watts than he needs to. So I would be not joking, rocking up to this thing in a skid suit if you want to last longer. So this is just a not neutral, but just steady pace. Just sitting on 45. So we are rotating through. And Max's goal here is how can I get the lowest possible, there I am on the left, how can I get the lowest possible normalized power until we hit the first climb? Because Max, as far as I'm aware, when all the quote-unquote hitters turn up, has never finished it without getting dropped. So the first goal is just how can I get through this ride? And so, yeah, pulling turns in here is fine, because when the pace wasn't really picked up, so just rotating through, keeping a bit of the speed up, but I'd be doing the minimum turn possible. I'd be like through and almost taking out the front wheel of the guy that comes past, because you're doing minimal speed possible. So this is actually, we're going to exit here. This is the first left-hander to head out from Centennial, and I just want to play this, because this is the unraveling of Mann. So that looked like a pretty standard corner, but let's rewind it back. Okay, so he's rolling into this corner. Now, Max has done this ride. Keep this in mind. He has done this ride a bunch of times. He knows the course, or if not, he has it on his Wahoo. So if he's a pure beginner, doesn't know the route, I'd say fair enough. But if you know the course, you've got to be saving more energy. So you can see the gap here to this rider. What's that? Probably 3 meters. Wide angle lens makes it look bigger. He comes onto the wheel slightly, so there it's probably 2 meters as they start to tip it into the corner. And he's not going to hold this speed through this corner. And he's go through, and comes out and suddenly the gap's 4 meters again. And he's having to do 900 watts. So he's got 2 options. The first option is don't be this far back in the group. Be more aggressive. Assert yourself. I haven't gotten through this ride before. I need to save energy. I'm going to ride in the top 5 wheels. Then you go through the corner. There's less of accordion effect. Or accelerate through the corners onto the wheel. So don't come in and be the closest to the wheel just as you're about to turn in. Leave yourself 2 or 3 pedal strokes just before you lean it in. Come onto the wheel, because he should be confident in this corner, because he's probably ridden to Lapa 100 times. Everyone knows, if you've ridden to Lapa Roos from Centennial Park, you will know this corner. And so he should be more confident in the wheels around him to be able to save energy there. That would turn that 900 watt acceleration down to probably 700. So that's an instant one. And same again here. Look, this corner is probably another 3 minutes ahead. And you can see, look, whoever's gone through this corner first up here has got all these people, and they're on the gas. They're tucked in. We're off to the races here. So we're tucked in and we're leaning on it. There's 10 meter gap here. And then there's another 3 meter gap here, and that's a 20-second acceleration to catch up to people that are already on the gas again. So he just needs to be more aggressive. Treat this more seriously. Like, if you want to get through it. I mean, and this is a serious ride. This is a race-paced bunch. It's a club ride, but we're still treating it seriously. So, again, just more energy saving needed. I think it's a confidence thing, a confidence and skill thing. Probably a combination of both. And just to, like, have a Red Bull or something, get a rocket up you. Like, if you want to get through the ride. Now, this is just all, again, we haven't hit any of the climbs yet. So there's a few 1 to 2 minute climbs on this ride, and we haven't hit any of those yet. So this is just pace setting, roll through if you can, skip a turn if you want. If I was Max, I'd be probably just sitting in, saving energy. Maybe back here, because you're probably still 15 minutes away from the first climb. You're probably safe to roll through. As you start to get closer to the point of the ride where the climbs come, just skip the turns. Flick the elbow. Yep, come on through. And be vocal. So that there, like, if we wind that back. Carlos has looked back here. Carlos, very fit rider on the old rim brake. Cervelo, dog of a bike. Comes through here, and then this rider here is sort of looking, when should I join in? Just go, yep, call him up. So it's called the gatekeeper. You're sitting here, kind of gatekeeping the slow people from behind you who are happy to just sit in, and then you're gatekeeping, calling through the fitter rider. So I'd be doing a quick call. Yep, come through. He can just accelerate onto there, and then I'm ahead there. So as I come back, you just go, yep. And just being vocal, so you're keeping the flow of the group going, but you're not actually having to pull a turn. And people, you get away with not pulling a turn because people go, oh, this guy's being really helpful. Call in, yep. You can call Will. That's Will, another strong rider, probably high 300s FTP. Chris, what's he? 350, 360 FTP. So fit riders, we're all in skin suits. We're all on full race wheels, full race setups. So that's a big one. Again, we're probably getting closer to the first climb. This is coming through Botany. We're probably 5-6 minutes from the first climb. And again, just your normal 2 abreast, bit of a rotation. You hit a light, it gets split up. You got to reaccelerate. It's all a little bit awkward, but again, lowest normalized power. How low can you get the normalized power for this? That's the goal. And then rolling through, Max is tall. He's the same weight as me. I think he's 90, and I think he's a bit taller than me, 6'3". So he'd be wanting to be tucked in here, all just position, get tucked in. Most of these riders are quite small, so get down in the drops, get your silhouette a bit lower. And again, we're sort of coming through. Yeah, we're probably 3 minutes from the first climb. So this is like we're coming into the Koppenberg for Max. Like, he should be, and this is what, like, he shouldn't just be sort of mindlessly doing the ride. He should be thinking, Mons is the name of the climb. So what happens, we're coming on Anzac Parade here. We come off Anzac Parade, we go down a descent for about 40 seconds, and it's a really fast left-hand corner to go up Mons climb, which is about 1.5 minutes. It's not that steep. It's probably only 3-4%. But he should just be thinking, where do I want to be going into Mons? Whose wheel do I want to be on? What line do I want to take there? And pre-planning for all that, even all the way back here. How fresh do I want to be going into that climb? He's going to want to be as fresh as possible, given that he usually gets dropped on it. So I wouldn't be rolling a turn here. This is cut off. 4 minutes from Mons Avenue starting. This is strictly do not pull a turn. I would have back here. I'd just be calling, yep, Chris, or even probably back here. This rider here, blue shorts, yep. Or if you call yep and that doesn't go through, you just get on their wheel and you just go, oh well, not my problem. This is a death. A 500 watt turn here is lactate, 12 millimole, VO2, 95%, and he's just like, and he's not in a skin suit, so it's a tough turn. Now this is the last riser before we go down the hill. So again, positioning. It can be quite hard to reposition on a descent, on a fast descent. So if I was Max, I'd be going, cool, Jesse's a big rider. He's probably happy to pull down the hill. I'll get on the wheel there. I can be second wheel going into Mons. But let's see what happens here. So he comes past, doesn't get onto that wheel, my wheel. We go through left, through a roundabout up here. And we fast forward. And what's happened here? I'm all the way up here. I think that's the rider that was ahead of me. So Max has just done a big wheel drop. Now there's a 15-meter gap, and now there's blokes coming past. Chris is coming. He knows what's up. Chris is like, shit, coil's fucking gone here. I'm getting on the wheel. Wheel's coming up. I'm getting on the wheel. And not only is he now losing a spot in the group, he's losing momentum. We're going through out of his speed. This is a left-hander into Mons, and that's good. Look at that. You're gone. I mean, unless you can do 1,000 watts for 20 seconds to close the gap. I mean, I'm through the left-hander. I hooked it left. So let me just go back. So we come off here. Fast left-hander. It's rough. I thought I was going to die. I almost got spat out in the right-hand corner. I'm treating this like it's the Olympic Games. And Max is here with people coming past twice his speed. And it's just impossible to get onto that because he was firstly, positioning wasn't good enough. He should have just been on my wheel. And then is just not being assertive enough or aggressive enough to really get in the flow. So that's just impossible. So that's just never going to happen. I mean, Vanderpoel would struggle to close that. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously. So again, this is not a fitness issue here. Like this climb's not steep. 30K an hour, 28K an hour. And we're probably still doing 33, 34. There's still a draft for us and for Max if he was in the wheel. So this is not a fitness issue. He should be getting at least 2/3 of the way up Mons. And then the good thing about this ride is there's lots of regrouping points. So we sort of dip down to Maroubra, we go up another climb, and Max can just regroup with anyone behind, cut across the course basically, and then rejoin when we catch up. But Max, you have the legs to get up Mons. You just need to be on my wheel or whoever's coming with momentum to take that corner, and you don't shut your eyes. You slightly close them, and you look at the wheel in front, and you grit your teeth, and you just hold the shoe. And I reckon you get up there. Or maybe you get spat 2/3 of the way from the top, and we generally ease up at the top, and you can close it down. So then again, they're going to just start rolling through here. This is sort of the second half of the bunch that have been dropped. So they keep doing their pace line, which I like. That's good training. So it's not sort of cut the course, sit on the side of the road for 5 minutes and wait for us to catch up. It's cut the course. This group starts rotating through and keeps pace, and then they're just waiting for us to come past. So I like that. Keep the training stimulus up. Just make it a better training session because this total ride is about, I think it's an hour and 20 minutes of swapping off. So if you get dropped 3 times, there could be 15 minutes that you're out. So it's good that they keep doing this pace line here. So this is just your usual. This is the flatter section sort of in between before the second half of the climb start. So again, any time above 500 watts is just death. It's just fatigue. So yeah, if you can roll through and you're doing 350, 400, sweet. Any more than that, until we catch up, I'd be just going no. Like I'm not rolling through. If it hits a climb and someone's expecting you to roll through, you just sit on 400. Because he wants to keep the training stimulus up, keep it moving, but also be ready that when we catch, he's good to jump on. So this is just coming back down Anzac Parade, heading back out towards La Perouse again, and we're going to come past here. And again, I think one of the problems here is anticipation. So this is a common theme, right? Every time a rider comes past, it looks like they're going twice his speed, and it's just anticipation. So right, what he should be doing here is, okay, we're about here, we're probably going to get caught soon. Look back. Okay, they're coming, accelerate up, pre-accelerate, so that when we come past, you can just get on. Otherwise, now it's like, how does he get on Chris's wheel here? Okay, you wait for all these people to come through, and then look, then you're having, unless we get that traffic light, that's another 1,000 watts for 15 seconds. And so I think more aggressive, more anticipation, more of an eye on how low can I get the normalized power, which is just, it's a skill. It's not a tactic. It's a skill thing that you can develop, but you have to work on it. It doesn't come naturally. You have to think, when can I anticipate? Another thing as well, if we just skip forward a bit, like when gaps open, do I snap close it or do I slowly close it and take 2 or 3 times as long? That depends on the situation too. If you're fast twitch, makeup rider and you got more acceleration, you might choose to snap close something, get back in the draft. If you're a bit of a diesel, slow close it, But again, you got to make that decision on the road. Now, this is a bit of a stitch up. This is coming through the car park at La Perouse, and it's me, Chris, and Will just go around here, and then this car just goes, nah, got to park, bro. Going to the beach, and then they get caught up here. So there's nothing he can do there. So again, this will be another regroup where they cut through. We're off now. There's no way they're getting back on. So we go all the way out to containers around at La Perouse, turn around and come back, and he's going to rejoin us here. And again, so this is after we've caught them on the downhill, coming into this downhill. This is a downhill section. The buses, it's a one-way road. Buses going this way. And we're going to take a right-hand corner. And there's another little 1 minute climb just around this corner. And so for Max as well, this is like a potential another drop point. So this is another situation where he should be like energy saving, in the wheels, in position to get over the next climb. But what happens? For some reason, he gets stuck on the front. I come past. We don't brake for trucks here. And I go around, and suddenly there's another gap. 900 watts, almost 1,000 watts just to get on the wheel of this rider coming past. And then you can see it just starts to drag up. And this is quite a hard section. I was starting to get pretty tired here as well. And let's see if he can get through it. So again, this is probably one where it's a good move to let riders come through. So he probably could have tried to hold that rider's wheel up there, but this is a good one. This is sag climbing. So this is actually... I didn't like the acceleration at the start, but when you've come into the climb, basically third wheel, and you can then just go, okay, well, I know there's 5 riders behind me that are stronger, so I'm going to let them come through. I'm not going to respond. I'm just going to wait until basically the last person who's going to be here gets past, and then it's just grit my teeth and try and hold their wheel. So for me, that's me. So I basically did the same thing. I let them all come past. I'm waiting for the last wheel, and now you have to. This is where you have to anticipate, because you can't let 10 meters go and then you turn around and go, oh, there's no one coming, and then suddenly you have to close the gap. So you need to have your eyes on a swivel, looking, who's coming. Is there anyone here? Is anyone close? One more rider, and then it's okay. I need to get on the shoe here. So Max has got on my wheel. I've got on that's Rich's wheel, and there's some good wobble going on here. This is still false flat, so it's only 34k an hour at 500 watts. So this was a hard section, and this is just full grit your teeth, do your squint. No, there's no looking at power. There's no looking at heart rate. You just hold the shoe, and then we get over the hump, and he's made that split. So that's kind of what he should be doing on more of the climbs. Start him at the front, wait for the fitter riders to come, and then slot on. So this is basically the last uphill drag of the whole ride. Again, that's Rich in front side. He needs to be on the wheel here. This is also, again, panic station. 130's heart rate. This is right. The last part of the pinch is going to come up here. He's already at 160. I think Max has a fairly low max heart rate. And this is... He didn't really do anything wrong here because he was on the wheel, but this is just... He's just blown. So this is just fatigue. There's just nothing. He's out of the saddle, sprinting. I mean, maybe his cadence could have been a bit higher, but sometimes when you start to fatigue, your cadence can drop. And so that I think that's just fatigue. There's really nothing he could have done here. And once that gap's open, we're going to start rolling through as soon as it flattens off. And there's just no way to get back on. And then we basically swap off all the way back up Anzac Parade, back into Centennial Park, and Max will just join up with some of the other riders here and roll back into the park. And that's the ride. So I think he got dropped 4-5 times, quite a few. But I honest to God, I think he could get through probably 60% more of these climbs if he was just more aggressive. Like he kind of, I mean, he says, "Oh, I'm keen to vlog it and turn up and see how long I get through," but he's not racing it like we're racing it. We're weekend full punter spec, full privateer masters spec. We're treating this seriously. There's just no way. And then you get to the cafe, there's about 60,000 run clubbers. Anyway, that's beside the point. He just needs to treat this more like a race, because there's just no way to get, unless he's got a 430 FTP, there's no way to get through this riding it like he is, especially going into those climbs, because there's just such a thin gap between. I'm riding the course smoother than than Max, and probably, and I am slightly stronger. But even I'm borderline getting dropped on some of the climbs, and we're the same body weight. So he just needs to be more aggressive. There's Chris there. That's the Polygon. The bikes, I've actually ridden that. I did a lap on it when he had it. I think I quite liked it. But just kit, helmet, skin suit. Skin suit is you just need a skin suit. I mean, I think the average speed for the whole thing is like 40, 41. And that includes all the climbs. So anytime you're actually rolling a turn, you're doing 45 plus. Especially if you get stuck with a downhill pull at 50 plus. So that's a video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks, Max, for filming it. Get out a few more Saturdays before next year. Get a bit more aggressive. Have a Red Bull. And let's see what happens. 2027 edition.